And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rollsicle. I'm one of the hosts here at the channel. My name's Nathaniel. I'm joined off screen by our lovely co-host, Ashley. Say hi to everyone.
Hi!
There she is. We are excited to bring you guys another video. This one's going to be quick. We just wanted to talk about something that's been bothering us a little bit with Avatar as a release, which, there's a lot of things. It's Universes Beyond set. There's, all sorts of things going on with the draft set and how we feel about that now that it's been out for, a week or 2 weeks, depending on if you count pre-release and that sort of thing. And we've had a lot to say. We've made a couple different videos. But one of the things I wanted to point out specifically, because I really don't like it, is just how confusing and how many different types of cards there are that are Avatar set cards. And what I mean by that is there are a ton of different products that you can buy. And a bunch of those products have access to a ton of different types of cards. And I'm not just talking about different, styles, which we see over here. Sure, there's all sorts of different styles of this Aang Swift Savior, but at the end of the day, we've seen that for a long time. I'm talking about that. I hope all of you guys can see up here, but if you can't, I have a whole bunch of cards pulled up here that are all Avatar cards, and they are all, the ways you get them are completely different. So let's talk about this for a little bit. Okay, before we jump into things, I do want to say quickly, if you enjoy these types of videos, you enjoy the content on the channel, whether it's Magic, video games, TTRPGs, any of all of it, we really do appreciate all the support, the love, and the care. Getting us to 294 subscribers, I think is where we're at right now, is so mind-bogglingly awesome. So thank you guys for being so great. Let's jump into things. So this is Aang Swift Savior. This is one of the bomb rares in the draft set. Very, very common card. It's kind of like, I wouldn't call it the main Aang. The main Aang is probably the 4-color Aang that wants you to Firebend, Earthbend, Waterbend, and Airbend, and then he transforms. But I wanted to do this one just because it was one of the easier ones that popped up, and I've seen it a lot. I think it's a very strong card, okay? If you want this card, it is in the Avatar The Last Airbender set. Notably, that set symbol looks like Aang's face, and it has TLA standing for The Last Airbender as its set type. Sure, we see cards like this all the time. Great. So then, moving on, in a draft, you might see this version of a card with Aang on it. This is called Aang's Shelter, but it has a little sub-name there because it's really Teferi's Protection, or it is effectively a reprint of Teferi's Protection. So when we look at something like Scryfall, it comes up with all of the other versions of Teferi's Protection. Notably, none of them are going to have Avatar on them, except this one. Okay? Now, what you might not know is that in the same draft that you pull Aang Swift Savior, you could also pull Teferi's Protection, or Aang's Shelter. Because this card is from the, I don't even know what they're calling it, right? Like the episodic screenshot versions of card, kind of bonus sheet type thing, even though it's not in every single pack. It's in like one of 25 or something like that packs of the regular play boosters, so you could pull it in your draft right here, but it is not the same legality as the Avatar The Last Airbender card. So this is The Last Airbender. This one is The Last Airbender. There's no A for it. E. So eternal. So this is saying it's an eternal format. And we can see it's got like the little wind glider here, which is the set symbol for the eternal cards. Okay, but as you can see right here, there is no set symbol on these cards. They chose to go for this sort of no border text on just a screenshot of the show, which we could make a whole video about how ugly some of these cards are. No shot at the show, but it's from what, like the 2000s? And it's old. It's old, okay? This thing premiered in like 720p, okay? And we're on a pretty small.
It came out with us. I'm gonna double check that.
It's on a pretty small Magic card. I think it's a little. I mean, it came out maybe with us, but we weren't old enough to watch it at the time it came out, and we're full adults now, right? So at this point,
2005.
Exactly. We weren't watching it when we were 2, so we watched this after it came out. But anyways, so Aang here, right, in the main set, standard legal. This version of Aang, or Aang Shelter, is in the play boosters for the most part. Well, not for the most part, but it is in play boosters, but you can't play it in standard. You can play it in draft because anything you open in draft is legal, obviously. Okay. But it also doesn't have the set symbol to inform new players, because remember, new players are what Universes Beyond is supposed to be getting into the game. it doesn't really inform them where they can play this. So in their opening play boosters to build themselves a nice standard deck for Friday Night Magic, they might put a card like this in there unless they know specifically, one, they've been told, hey, you might get a card with a screenshot on it, don't play that. Or if they know to look for the TLE in the bottom left corner, which I bet even Ashley didn't know she could have done. That the set name is in the bottom left. You knew about the symbols, but in the bottom left, TLE is the set name, okay? Most people don't know that. Additionally, you might say, well, this card has no rarity because there's no set symbol. There's a little letter in the bottom left. M stands for mythic, right? They do think you knew that because I think I pointed it out to you at one point. So there's C and then uncommon and then R and then M for rare and mythic, right?
Yes.
Great. That rarity doesn't really matter, okay, unless you're playing in a rarity-specific format, in which case this is also a little deceptive or hard for people to know what they're trying to find. So then, okay, fine, whatever. We've seen bonus sheets like this before in packs, right? And this does primarily show up in collector booster packs because I do believe you get at least one of these in every single collector booster pack. And of course, in collector boosters, you're going to be able to get some cards that aren't in the standard legal set. Not necessarily the end of the world just now, okay? But this is obviously in here for more of like its commander playability, right? So then we move on. And I wanted to pick another Ang, but there actually wasn't one for this one. So here we have an Appa, the Vigilant. So you might be going, okay, well, Appa, the Vigilant, has this set symbol, but this doesn't look like a screenshot from the show because this is way too high rendered for the show. Like the show wasn't rendered in this sort of detail. So where do I get this card? Well, this is from one of two scene boxes. So the only way to get this card is to buy that specific scene box. So if you see this out in the wild, you don't ask the person where to get it and you're trying to find the card, you just start looking up Appas. You might be a little confused. It might take somebody who's new to the game a long time, or they straight up just might not even find the card because this one is specifically locked behind one of the scene boxes. However, you'll notice it is the same legality as the last Airbender Eternal. Now, we haven't seen the set symbol yet until now, which you can see right here is the air glider, right? Or air glider?
I think so.
Wind glider? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen the show. Okay.
Same.
But either way, right? Now you can see that symbol and it goes, oh, okay, so that symbol means that it's from the scene box. Okay, fine. Technically, this has the same symbol, but the symbol's not on it, so I can see why people would think that's from the scene box. And moving on, we see a similar thing here. We have Aang and Katara nuzzled up against Appa here. This is an adorable card, right? Well, this has the same symbol. It's probably also from the scene box. Well, yes, but it's from a different scene box. So now you also need to know which scene box is which, so that you can make sure that you get the correct card that you want. So now you know, okay, well, we have these Eternal cards that are from scene boxes, and then we have Eternal cards without the symbol on them that are the screenshots from the show, but these ones cannot show up in play boosters at all, and I don't think they can show up in collector boosters. I think the only way to get these is the scene boxes. Okay, now we're a little bit confused here, right? Because these have the same legality, but they don't have the same symbol. This has a different symbol, but these can be pulled in the same pack. But you know what? I think I've wrapped my head around it, and with enough searching, I do think that somebody new to the game could maybe still figure that out. But then they add on the fact that there is Avatar Jumpstart. So now we have Aang Air Nomad. Now, obviously, this isn't a borderless card, so this makes this a little bit more clear that this might be from a scene box because it's borderless. But there are extended border versions of these cards. In fact, I could have pulled one up right now. I think there's one right here, right? Maybe it's not going to show it. Okay, but there is an extended border version of it. Okay, yeah, no, it's not going to show it. That's fine. And maybe this isn't one of the ones that have it, but there are extended border versions of these cards. So now there's another Aang. There's another card that you're like, okay, great. So this has this set symbol, but this was from Jumpstart. These ones weren't from Jumpstart. They have the same legality, but they're from different products. If you saw this one first, then you might later think, oh, I need to buy Jumpstart to get these cards. Or if you saw this one first, you might think, oh, I need to buy a Scene Box to get this card. But you don't, because you have to buy Jumpstart for this one and Scene Boxes for that one, but they have the same legality and they have the symbol, but Teferi's Protection doesn't, but it has the same legality. And then to add on to all of it, we have this one right here, Mystical Tutor, which has the symbol, is Commander legal. It has that legality. It's not from Jumpstart, and it's not available in Play Boosters. It is exclusively available as a 2 of 10 gotcha card that you can get from the Commander bundle. This is too much. This is way too much, because I don't want to have to explain to somebody where they can find this card and explain to them, yeah, so what you have to do to find this card, if you don't want to just go out and buy it, is you have to, in order to open this, you have to buy the Commander bundle. You're going to get 2 of 10 cards. Oh, well, what are those 10 cards? Well, they're exclusive reprints of a lot of Commander popular cards. Oh, I heard about those. They have like screenshots on them. No, sorry. Those are a different thing. Those are actually available in Play Boosters and Collector Boosters, but these ones aren't. You have to specifically buy the Commander bundle. But in that Commander bundle, you're going to get Play Boosters that could open this card and could open these cards. Some of those are Commander legal, some of them are Commander legal, of course, and Standard legal, but there's not a great job differentiating between the two. These ones don't have the symbol, these ones do. They come from different sources, but you can get them in the same source because the Commander bundle comes from it. You're not going to see any of these cards in there because they are Jumpstart exclusive, and you're not going to see these ones because they are Scene Box exclusive. But then, if you see them later, you might think that they are either from Jumpstart or Scene Boxes, whichever one you see first, because they have the same set symbol. But you also might get confused because Mystical Tutor has that same set symbol, so you might think it's one of the 10 that you didn't open. That's ridiculous. It's insane. Like, I blew that up out of proportions a little bit there to kind of emphasize my point. But at the end of the day, this is not newcomer friendly. This is specifically designed for people that are well in the door of Magic to make expensive ways to create pockets of exclusivity, just like we see with the different styles of cards. Well, I don't really care about the different styles of cards, because if you start caring about the styles of cards, believe it or not, you're relatively into Magic. You're not a brand new person to Magic if you're like, oh, I want this specific version of this card that's in this pack. But if you just want a card, you see it do something cool in Commander, and now you're trying to figure out where you can get it, this is way too complicated. This is way too complex, and it should, honestly, deter newcomers, and we should do something about it. Because if this is how we welcome new people to Magic, by telling them that they have to buy this $200 product, this $300 product, this $500 product, and then probably some Play Boosters just as some extra to find the different cards they want, we are telling them, hi, welcome to this hobby. It only costs a couple $1,000s for you to play what you want, or you can buy singles, but you can only buy singles if people are opening that stuff, which of course people pretty much always will. But at the same time, you have to be relatively into Magic to feel like you want to buy specific singles. And so much about Magic is the opening. Like, I'm a huge proponent of draft. Draft doesn't work unless you're opening random packs, right? Like, Constructed has its place, Commander has its place, and it's obviously the most popular format of Magic. But Magic also has a lot to do with the high of opening packs. I think it was before we started the video, but Ashley was literally just saying how much she loves opening cards. There's a reason people like doing that. Now you have to do it responsibly, but when people want to do it and they have a hope of hitting a specific card, it would crush them to find out that they spent $5 or $6 or $1,200 to only find out that the card they really wanted was in a different product. That would frustrate the heck out of me, and I don't blame anybody for feeling that way. So I think Magic needs to get a bit of a grip on this. I think they need to rein in all of the different products, because Jumpstart is a nice product. It really is. But maybe it's not the same product you do a bonus sheet on, and you do Scene Boxes on, and you decide to do this weird collector Commander cards in the Commander bundle thing, right? Like, all of those, was that 4 different ways that you can get non-standard legal cards? 4 different ways.
It's ridiculous.
Bonus sheet, Scene Boxes, Jumpstart, extra Commander box card things, right? That is too much. It just is. It's too much. Now, yes, there were times before where it was like, great, and there are these as well when we talk about the different arts for cards that can come in collector boosters, that can come in play boosters. And when you look at a play booster these days, I mean, by golly, you have to have a doctorate in statistics to understand what you're really looking at when you see, 1 in 7 cards are replaced with this 1 in 30 chance to get this potential replacement that might be foiled. 1 in 20 of those are rainbow foil. Like, dear Lord, okay, I understand math, but this is getting pretty ridiculous. We used to just have, hey, here's 15 cards. 1 of them will be a rare slot. 1 in 8 packs will have a random, I think it was common, replaced with an any rarity foil. Period. I think anybody could understand that. And while there is so much more hype, and we're going to make a video kind of talking about what that hype led to and if the price per pack and stuff like that. We plan to make that video. But there is so much more hype in the fact that you could open 3 mythics with one of them foiled and a bonus sheet card that yes, there's a lot more hype in that. But at the end of the day, it is inherently going to frustrate new people and confuse them as to what cards they can play where, when they can play them, how they can play them, what they can play them in. Because when you open that commander bundle, you're opening a whole lot of standard legal cards, but you're also opening a whole lot of cards that aren't standard legal, and you're seeing 2 different set symbols, and you're also getting cards potentially that don't have a set symbol. That's really, really confusing. And I think that's all we have to say,
Yeah.
I mean, do better, right? If you're going to make a product that is built for bringing people in, look at Foundations. Foundations said, we're going to have a bunch of different products. Did they have Foundations Jumpstart? Yeah, they did. Okay, we're going to have a bunch of different products. The Jumpstart is going to be Eternal only, and they have their own set symbol. And every other product is going to have specifically this one standard legal set symbol. And because we're making a bunch of different product that has this star that is the Foundation set, we're going to make all of those cards standard legal so that nobody's confused. Nobody's overwhelmed, and the only thing you need to know is, hey, these cards are in play boosters. These cards are from the starter collection. Those are the only ones that share a symbol, right? So there's a little confusion there when you look at like Lyra Dawnbreaker, I think is the name of her, or something like that, right? The angel. And it's like, oh, that's in Foundations? Well, yes, it is, but it's only in the starter collection, right? But beyond that confusion, all the Jumpstart cards have their own set symbol. There's no cards that don't have any set symbol, and even the variations of cards that have like full art, they put the set symbol on there so that you know that they're still playable in whichever formats they are. Pretty straightforward, very welcoming to new players. And then in the, I think it was the starter collection, but I could be mistaken, you do get a command tower and a soul ring that have the eternal symbol on them. It's like the 3D star looking thing, right?
So
to signify that they are not standard legal. They have their own symbol to say, hey, if you're buying the starter collection to actually play standard, great, don't play these 2. If you're buying it to start putting something together for Commander, that's awesome. You can play these, right? Okay, great. That was relatively complicated, but I feel like people could understand it. And I don't think Avatar is doing it right, because what Foundations didn't need was extra reprints of like Teferi's Protection that are, in a different art style without a set symbol. What it didn't need was scene boxes of Magic's history, building the new foundation going forward. What it didn't need was in the starter collection, you get a soul ring, a command tower, which they don't give you here, they give you Swiftfoot boots, an arcane signet, and then 2 out of 10 other cards that are also commander exclusive. Like, it's too much. It's too much. It's meant for the people that spend hundreds upon thousands of dollars on Magic to chase product, but it's going to deter away the new players, which is what Universes Beyond is about. This would confuse me. Until I pulled it up for this video, it did confuse me, and it might possibly still confuse Ashley. Like, because she didn't do the research for the video, right? If I asked her, especially if I just asked her a card name, bro, I couldn't tell you what's it from. If I just said Aang and then this, whether that's a Jumpstart card, whether that's a set standard legal card, whether that's a name of one of the Commander reprints that got the, screenshot from a video on it, it's too confusing and it's going to overwhelm people. All right, that's what we have for you guys. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment down below what you think. Is this too confusing? Are we making a big deal out of nothing? Because personally, if I was a new player, this would overwhelm me. And like I said, if I'm just hearing the name of a card, if you just say, oh yeah, Katara, blah, 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 I'm going to be like, okay, so is that the Azorius one? Or is that the mono blue one? Or is, oh wait, you're talking about one that's not from the standard set? Oh, I have no idea. Because there's all of these other cards. And there's Kataras that are in the scene boxes. And they're too much. Too much, right? And honestly, they might even just say the blue Katara, and I'm going to think about the one that draws cards from the main set, right? That's what the blue Katara is. It's an uncommon that lets you waterbend 6 to draw a card. Well, the reprint of, what's it called? I don't remember it right now. It's the counter a spell for free if you have your commander. Fierce Guardianship is Katara on the card, and it's blue. Now, the name of the card is Fierce Guardianship, but if someone had that and they didn't know a lot about Magic, they might be like, oh yeah, I have this blue Katara, it's super awesome. You know, that's not gonna differentiate between the two. So anyways, like I said, let us know down in the comments below what you think. Thank you guys for all the love and support. We'll see you in whatever comes next, but until then, may those rolls be ever in your favor, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye, y'all.